Hey guys, welcome to Halloween Daily. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
Well, I'm stoked to be talking about influencers. Kurtis, I'm gonna start with you. When did you have the idea that you wanted to make a sequel? Was it always part of the plan when you were making the first one, or when did you know that there was more of this story that you wanted to tell?
No, it was later. It was always kind of meant as a one-off initially. And I think with kind of like how social media and AI has developed and kind of seeing that we could kind of explore, there's a lot more to explore with these characters and kind of some new online kind of subcultures. I think once that started to click, it kind of came together very quickly. We had the idea to kind of showcase CW living in southern France, kind of after this 1 year relationship. And when that kind of clicked, it was kind of off to the races.
And that was kind of the first thing that clicked and lit the fire for the sequel. It sounds like
Yeah,
putting
it was kind of
putting
this
her in
this
that new location and
this yeah, this new location where we see her in a relationship and we
yeah.
don't exactly know where this takes place in the grand schemes of the timeline. That once
Mhm.
that kind of started coming together, it was quite quickly. Yeah.
Now, Cassandra, with playing CW, she's such an interesting character and she's such a mystery to us watching. Do you know more of her story, her backstory? And then maybe you and Kurtis have talked about it, but do you, and when you're performing her, have a lot of her worked out in your head more than what we know as viewers?
Yeah, I definitely. I think as an actor, you kind of have to do that. And I think that's what's so fun about our franchise is that you, the audience, you don't really have that information, but you can kind of imagine things in your head. And I think that's kind of part of the experience. Is like it's kind of like the audience is making their own assumptions, and I think that's part of it too. Um, but yeah, I know who she is. I know where she comes from, and it's been and I apply that to the performance and the moments. But sometimes there's this aspect of her that is still a mystery to me. Like she does these things, and sometimes her actions they happen so quickly, and they're not thought out as we kind of get to see in the sequel, um, which is devastating to watch, um, and a bit crazy.
It definitely gets crazy, and she is a unique and interesting character to follow through all of this. And a bit of maybe kind of an anti-hero in a way. Um,
Depends
now,
on depends on
yeah,
your.
I imagine she's a lot of fun for you.
Mhm.
Now, Emily, with reprising Madison, I mean, obviously Madison's in a totally different place now than when we first met her in the first film, and she's been through it. How did your approach change going into the sequel as opposed to playing her the first time around?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really interesting new storyline. You know, when Madison returns, she's got two bodies on her boat. And I didn't think we'd do a sequel. I never really asked myself that question of what would happen. What would the aftermath of that look like? And so you get to see someone who kind of had it all. You get to see her life fall apart and her be in a place of complete desperation and isolation. Um, and that can really put someone in a position where they just lay down and give up. But there's a new drive in Madison, and she kind of goes down her own path of obsession, and you get to see her on this new journey, which I think is pretty exciting.
It's funny that you said that because I was thinking about it. I watched the first film and I felt like Madison is kind of a final girl, kind of a Laurie Strode to a Michael Myers CW, if you will, if I'm going to liken it to one of our other stuff. But in this one, it's much more. She's more like the Dr. Loomis or the Van Helsing character, kind of on the hunt. It feels like, and I like that change this time.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. It was really fun to play. It was really fun to see Madison kind of stripped bare that way.
Now, for both of you, Cassandra and Emily, what's one thing that you guys learned about your characters that you didn't know necessarily about them when you finished the first film, and you were kind of surprised to learn about them making this film?
That she could fall in love. I mean, she's so cold and calculated in the first film, and then this one opens with her like it's almost like a completely different person. We've humanized her. We've made her like a real person, like just your average girly pop in France in love. Um, n- but yeah, so that was really that I just didn't expect to see that from where we ended and then where we started here. So that was really fun to play.
And I think for Madison, we get a hint of it at the end of the first movie, but there's this determination and strength that I don't think anyone would have seen coming. I think when we first meet her, she seems pretty naive and, um, you know, I just don't think that we thought she'd be able to survive that. And not only does she survive, she then has the whole world turn against her and she still doesn't give up. And I just think there is this strength in Madison that you get to see. And um it surprised me while we're filming it, right? You just see this completely other side of her for sure.
And Cassandra, I saw that I know you're a producer on the film, and I saw you're also credited as costume designer. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, in that aspect, did you find yourself just in the wardrobe and the costume decisions, using that to further your characterization of CW?
Yeah, definitely. I think also what I felt like it made me like triple prepared for this project because I had
Yeah.
to dive into everyone's characters essentially.
Hmm.
Which was such a treat, which you never get to do that as an act. Oh, you can do that as an actor, but yeah, but I did it. Um, but yeah, it gave me even more confidence in playing this character because I think when I feel the best playing a role is when I think this goes for any actor when you do the work essentially, and after we had already done the work because we knew these people, we had played them for in the first film, and so coming back to do it again, and then on top of that, getting to know every other character, and then diving deeper into my own. I felt so ready, so excited to get back in front of the camera and bring her to life again.
Um, Kurtis, these movies are terrifying because they are so believable and relatable, and it is so much, as you said, it's about what's happening now, online and influencer or otherwise. We're all online, we're all living these avatars, and there's of course this recurring theme that nothing's ever what it seems, nobody's ever who they pretend to be online. So do you think, just in your own opinion, having made these movies, is it possible? Can we exist online in 2025, 2026, and have some amount of realness and authenticity, or is it just not even possible at this stage? What advice do you have for us?
Advice. I only have questions. I don't have much advice. I think like no, I think we are moving towards a bit more authenticity as we kind of grapple with what's happening and the way social media is shifting from kind of when it started out, it was a lot about just posting your friends, and now it's so much about it's almost like an entertainment platform. So I think we are moving away from that, and I'm kind of hopeful that we'll continue on that trajectory of kind of more authentic living. But I think in general, we wear masks all the time, and so the online persona is just a kind of extreme personification of the way that we want to be portrayed, and I think that goes in kind of all of our interactions, whether it's online or in person. So it's what's so fun about these characters is just that we get to see such an extreme side of them when we're kind of introduced, and then it's just slowly kind of peeling back the layers of like, okay, what actually makes these people tick? How did we get here? And I think that to me is why I love kind of exploring these movies and these characters of kind of like those first appearances, and then kind of slowly kind of trying to figure out who they are and how we got here.
Well said. And well, speaking of masks, every day is Halloween for us, as you can see. So I know you guys are busy. We're out of time, but instead of saying goodbye, I'm just going to wish you all a very happy Halloween. I hope you guys celebrate and enjoy Halloween. And I'm going to wish you all a happy Halloween. The movie's great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for taking this time. And again, happy Halloween to each of you.
Happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.